Once again, it's time to highlight a car from my personal collection, and today I chose a 72 Bob Sharp Prep 610.
Nice.
Now, this isn't the car that won the B Sedan Championship in 1972. This is the sister car.
The clone.
It's not a clone, it's the backup car.
The backup car.
Yeah, it's the backup. Remember Tom Brady?
Okay.
Remember when Bledsoe went down a few years ago?
No, I don't watch football.
Tom Brady was the backup quarterback. He came in and won him a Super Bowl over my beloved Rams. This is the Bob Sharp 1972 season backup car. Now, the first car won the series. This is the car that sat around looking pretty, getting laid, waiting for the other car to come back to
waiting
the paddock.
for us to drive it.
That's right. For those of you who aren't familiar with Bob Sharp, well, for Datsun Racing, West Coast it was BRE, East Coast it was Bob Sharp. And he got together with Paul Newman and formed Sharp Newman Racing. They had beautiful lacquer red, white, and blue cars. I own the Paul Newman 300ZX. This is the 610. It's red, white, and blue lacquer. It's got a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder that's putting out about 215 horsepower. 2 side draft Mikuni 44s. We can take a look at those if you like. And just a fully prepped race car. There's nothing better looking to me than a fully prepped race car.
The thing that's nice about this car is that it's got the patina age weather look, but it's got really nice finish over that, and everything on this car is like it's time capsule, as somebody said, and it's just really clean to see a car from the era that's not all banged up or beat up. It's just really a nice car.
Now, on the plate, it says 1,770 cc's with a maximum horsepower of 105. So maybe it's a 1.8. No, could they have gotten 215 out of a 1.8 back then? No. I say it's a 2-liter. I'm going out on a limb. And I must stand corrected. These are Solex side draft carbs, not Mikunis. Not that anyone can tell the difference. It's a high compression car, runs well off of racing fuel, and you guys can Google this. I know Paul Newman drove the 510s. I know he drove the 240Zs. We should have Googled it. I don't know if he ever drove the 610s, but this was not one of his cars. This is a cool retro time capsule car, and again, like you said, true lacquer paint on it, and not only true lacquer paint in a nowadays, they'd put a decal or they'd use vinyl on the side of a car. This is hand-painted lacquer, and not only is it 3-tone lacquer, it then has hand-painted pinstriping going all the way around the car, around the numbers, around the name, and everything else. And I guarantee the guy who did this pinstriping was smoking the entire time.
With a cigarette hanging by the edge of his mouth.
And he was one of these guys, and you guys don't remember these guys. Guys used to smoke and do other things.
And never wore a respirator and painting with the most dangerous
They would do pinstriping and smoke. They would eat and smoke. They would rebuild a transmission, smoke. They would bang their old lady and smoke. And the cigarette would just hang out of the side of their mouth, and they would talk to you. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?
And never fall out.
And yeah, the ash would never come off. Be a 9-inch ash hanging off the end of this guy's moor, and he'd just be pinstriping away. So I guarantee this guy had weird facial hair and a weird cigarette, and you could tell the side of the cigarette hung out of the side of his mouth by the color of his goatee on that side. Had a little brown mark,
yeah,
little tar nicotine on one side. 610, crappy looking, I mean, bottom of the barrel as far as cracker box, Nissans, whatever was coming out of Japan at the time. This Datsun 610 could have been one of the cheapest cars in 1973, but in race trim, kind of works out nicely.
Well, it's kind of good because you see a lot of 510s done up BRE style, or other raced up variants of them. And how often do you see a 610 anywhere? It's like a 75 Plymouth wagon. Right. They've been all crushed and destroyed.
Fuel racing cell in back, plumbed, full roll cage.
Fire system for those that smoke.
Fire suppression system for the guy who put the pinstriping on. All the appropriate gauges, tack turned upside down.
One of the things also that I love about a lot of these older race cars is the use of mechanical tack. They have like a Jones tack in there that's red line on this is 10,000 RPM, which really isn't the red line of the motor, but I just love the gigantic mechanical tack. It has an interesting piece of history where you don't see that stuff anymore.
Well, I'd say that's about as much as anyone has talked about a Datsun 610 in the last 25 years.
If it isn't in a wrecking yard, it's right here.
Well, fitting ending to another car from my collection episode. We'll do another car every week, and we'll try to mix them up as best we can.
When do I get to squeeze one in?